Okay, Gary's Tours fans, we're now doing a continuation of our drive around the Ring of Kerry. We're currently at the first stop we made, which was the Bog Village, which really depicts how people lived in Ireland in up to 1955 in reality. And we posted a video about that. Now we're going on the next leg of our journey around the Ring of Kerry, and we'll see where that takes us and see what exciting things we see. Once again, this video is being brought to you by Gary's Tours. It's being produced in 4K and 60 frames per second for the best video quality that we can give you. And we hope you enjoy this drive around the Ring of Kerry, and it'll make you want to come to Ireland and do it yourself. This should give you a really good idea of what it's like to drive in Ireland, what the roads are like. As we've told you in previous Ireland videos, the lanes are more narrow than you're used to, particularly in the United States. The lanes in Ireland tend to be closer to 6 feet rather than longer roads, wider roads. This particular lane in the road that we're on, the stretch of road that we're on, is probably about a 10-foot wide road. Many of them are not. And they just had a cutoff back there that was great. I stopped previously there to take photographs. But it's a good place. There aren't enough stop-offs along here where motorists can stop and take videos, pictures. But once again, because of the cultural differences here, the owners of adjoining land through roads build right up to the road because they own it. And they're within their rights to do that. And they have a different philosophy than many municipalities have in the United States, where eminent domain laws in the United States are more powerful and are more freely exercised. They're willing to take property. Now here's a bridge we're going over. It's wide enough just for one vehicle at a time. You have a lot of that stuff. But remember, we did a video on driving in Ireland with 10 basic rules to follow when you drive in Ireland. Slow down. Be polite. You're not home. You're not driving an F-150 down a wide road where in your neighborhood. You're driving a small car. And there are big trucks and big buses that can kill you very easily. So we recommend, of course, getting the smallest car you can because it's easier to navigate the roads. But it's also, if you have an accident, more dangerous for you inside the vehicle. So if you're used to driving an Expedition or Explorer or Navigator in the U.S. And know that nothing much can hurt you except an 18-wheeler, that's not the case in Ireland usually. We're driving a French Renault Clio, which I'm sure folds up instantly upon impact with anything. Which will have a very bad effect on the drive speed. But I'm happy now because we see the sun starting to come out. We're heading ultimately today for on this trip around the Ring of Kerry. We're heading ultimately for the Cliffs of Kerry. And the Cliffs of Kerry are almost as good as the Cliffs of Moher, and the Cliffs of Moher are far more popular for whatever reason. But there's not a big difference between the Cliffs of Kerry and the Cliffs of Moher. So we want to find out for ourselves what the difference might be. We're also going to look at some of the And we're doing a separate video also today on the Clipstone Walk. We also will stop by Valencia Island if time permits and do a video on Valencia Island of actual tropical flowers that are alive and well and growing on Valencia Island. You might not believe it, but there are tropical flowers that grow in Ireland all year long. That's because in much of Ireland, the temperature rarely, if ever, goes below 50 degrees. And it permits tropical flowers to not die. They don't get frosted. They have a couple of cold days usually in January, but that's about it. This is another little cute village that probably should be investigated more, explored more. The actual Ring of Kerry Drive, if you don't stop, and it's really hard not to stop because there's so many good things to see. But the actual Ring of Kerry Drive, if you didn't stop anywhere, could probably be done in 3 hours. But you're going to want to stop. So that's why I always say, allow many days. I intend on spending probably a half dozen days or more just having adventures on the Ring of Kerry. Once again, the Office of Public Works, OPW, issues a card that you can buy while you're still in America for $30 a year. They give you free entry into 470 sites around Ireland. It's the best card you can get. There are other tourist cards you can get, particularly in Dublin, that purport to give you a discounted admission, but they're commercial, they're for profit, and they're not as good as the free cards. Free entry is always best. And the Office of Public Works of Ireland will give you an OPW card. You search it on Google, OPW Irish card. You will find a site. You can buy for 30 euros in advance. And it's well worth the expense. It's paid for itself with me 5 or 10 times over. The fact that it's good for a year means if you come every 6 months to Ireland, you might get 2 trips out of it. For example, Muckross House is technically operated by the OPW, although the person running Muckross House told me it's slightly different contract, but they honor the OPW card, so you get it free. And you get into the farm for free. That's not bad. We did a video on the farm about what it was like to live in Ireland in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. It's one of our most popular videos. We suggest you take a look at it. Want to learn more about Ireland. And that's what YouTube is. YouTube is really a learning experience. It's where you can learn about anything in a matter of seconds. Here's sheep. They typically sometimes mix the sheep herds together and they paint the sheep different colors on the wall. Not a permanent dye, but they dye them either red or blue or yellow. Makes them sort of cute. So that the sheep growers can tell who owns which sheep. And now the road's getting narrow again. It's down to 6 foot width. this gentleman builds right up to the edge of the roadway. So if you wanted to add an extra shoulder on the road, you destroy his wall. If you want to put an extra shoulder on the right side of the road, you'd be destroying the power company's right of way, apparently. And there was a wall there right up to the road. They didn't think about that when they designed these roads. These roads were basically thought about probably 100 years ago, more. And they're really basically cart paths. That's why that's so narrow. Now we're down to about 5 feet wide. We stay on our side of the line. That's what creates some hazard, because the views are so beautiful to look at. As a driver, you almost really can't do that. Because if you take your eyes off the road for just a second, you could, 1, be in a ditch, 2, hit a wall, or 3, be off the road and in more serious trouble. But there they are, painted cheap. They're painted blue. There's a Garter. Garter is what they call the police. And plural of Garter, just like in Latin, is an eye, Gardae. So if you see vehicles that say Garter on them, that means police. You read in the Irish Times about Gardaí are doing this, the Gardaí are doing that. They're talking about the police. Gardaí are nationally constituted police in Ireland. But remember, Ireland's population until recently was only 5 million people. There are 10 times more Irish folks living in the United States than there are in Ireland. Recently, they got an influx of Ukrainians of about 600,000. I was predicting 1 million by Christmas. It didn't happen. That's last Christmas. A lot of Ukrainians have actually gone back to Ukraine to help with the war effort in Ukraine. As a matter of fact, I was just listening to a story from the New York Times, or the Washington Post, I don't recall which, about Ukrainians who were, as they were running out of ammunition because the delay of the U.S. Congress to provide them with monetary support, they were literally creating videos on how to make drones. And they were making drones. They test them with a can of soda filled with sand to simulate a bomb that they would be attaching to. And the drone makers didn't arm the drones, didn't put the explosives on the drones, which was probably either C4, Sentex, or some sort of plastic explosive with a detonator, probably an impact detonator. And that was done when they were actually put into service in the field. I'm going to stop here and take some photographs. This looks like a very scenic view right here. So we'll pause the video and get back to it shortly. All right, we're continuing. We made a brief stop there and took some truly beautiful photographs. And now we're continuing our journey on the Ring of Kerry. We're taking photographs as frequently as we can. We can't grab photographs from videos, the quality is not as good as it should be when you do that. So the photographs have to be actually taken separately. And we're coming out with a book in October, a coffee table book that will be available on Amazon, of beautiful photographs, or at least photographs we believe are beautiful, from all around Ireland. So it'll be a book of photographs of Ireland. $39.99 is the listing price, and you'll be able to see many, many photographs that you'll see in our videos that will also appear in this book. It may have brief descriptions of what they're about and where they are and how they were taken. If we can, we'll tell you give you the exposure and the camera settings that we used. We're fairly high up now. You see, they do have a guardrail on this part of the road, which is good. That's almost, I'd say, like American standards almost. Many roads, and this road has clearly been upgraded recently. I can tell by looking at what was there before. There was some sort of wall device that they had that didn't offer much protection. And here's the fence that doesn't offer much protection. A steel girder does offer good protection. So this road has been upgraded to better safety standards, but not all, and most of them aren't upgraded. What a beautiful part of the world, though. More sheep with different colored paint on them. Even the color of the water here is beautiful. Great place to have a house. I want one eventually that's near the rocks with the Atlantic Ocean coming in. That is the Atlantic Ocean out there, by the way, with the Atlantic Ocean splashing against the rocks of my house. I may never get that house, but it's nice to think about it. Actually, in Dingle, there are homes just like that, with beautiful views. This looks like an old railroad trestle, Lois. Another one car at a time bridge. And you can see they've also recently upgraded this. They're trying to do safety enhancements, which I 100% approve of. You shouldn't be caused to risk your life to travel through Ireland. And the weather looks even better. We're getting more blue sky. I love blue sky because it's better for photography. It's better for videos like this. I talked to my sister yesterday, and she said she watched the Fordham Road video. And she said she felt it was boring to watch the Fordham Road video. I said, that's because you drove on that road every day for 4 years going to Fordham. Of course you think it's boring. I'm going to stop here and do some more photographs.